Now we're here off of 621, just a few miles south of San Marcos, a few miles north of Staples, Texas, at the Tuttle Cemetery, established 1887. And this is one that you're just going to see from the road with a sign. And we were out here and said, let's go see what we find out here at the Tuttle Cemetery. Interesting how the shells decorated these graves. Mrs. Estella Ebert and Mrs. Alice Phillips, 1902 and 1917. This is Lily. She was born 1884 and died in 1891, 7 years old. And Walter, this is two children, 1886 and died in 1889. It was tough years living out here. And changed somewhat, but you know, this was living out in the Texas heartland through the heats of the summer, diseases, and you know, after Reconstruction in the South. And a glass from bygone era. This was probably from a urn for flowers that was here, and just found it down here on the ground. So I was with any area, you know, we'll leave and it'll be here, but it's kind of another interesting piece. A.H. Tuttle, born 1866, just at the end of the Civil War, and died July 3rd, 1893. And I'm going to put him just about just a few years shy of 20. He'd been 17. 1822, October 3rd, 1896, Nelson Tuttle. And American Legion. And he was a Mason. Beautiful stone. And, you know, this cost quite a bit to bring out in the late 1800s. Like a jewel, his life grew brighter with age, wearing proud the worth of the gem. He looked beyond the suffering here. His faith waxed strong in the end. One of the things that you find at a lot of the Texas cemeteries is a lot of the older poor areas, the slave or the Hispanic cemeteries that many times were not maintained are hidden off in the woods or off from the main cemetery areas. So let's see what we find in this area. Manuel Fernandez, 1931. And Villarreal, 1921. And down at the edge, a whole bunch of trash piled up. Here's some more gravestones hidden away. Juanito Coronado, 1937, born February and passed away in June of 1937. And the family has maintained this grave. And this is the thing, is that families have to know where these are at and to be able to take care of these grave sites. This one had some seashells. And Mother Isidora Sanchez, December 1937, 59 years old. What's interesting, though, is that, you know, these stones have not been maintained. And trees have grown up around. Yet we have a fenced area that has a stone and a dedication that's right here. And it does give you kind of an indication, even in death, the separation, that in this generation we don't see as much. Most of those lines have been blurred, whether through political, social changes. And hopefully those are gone now that we are all neighbors, all of the same race. And that it is all up to you. Yeah, but a lot of this is probably going to be socioeconomic as well. Is that a lot of these people may not have had the money to be buried in the nicer cemetery up on the hill. And that was just above this. And this was a Woodman of the World. This was a fraternal order. They'll be Compton by 1905. Another link is broken in our band, but a chain is forming in a better land. This is interesting, is that again you have a Woodman of the World memorial, which is a fairly significant piece. 1918, Sebastián de Tejeda, camp number 2449, Maxwell, Texas. And this gravestone, 1909, and the wrought iron, probably a small child here. So, this is June 11th on 2011. Oh, we're out here at about 2 o'clock in the afternoon in Black Earth country. South of I-35, going down towards Seguin, Staples, definitely out in the country. And this is the Tuttle Cemetery. And, why do I keep coming out to these cemeteries? Because this is where history is, and this is where, when we look around us, you can humble yourself in knowing that your time is short, and what you do here matters very much, because the only statement that is left from these lives here, besides the people that they have fathered and mothered and left here to raise others, and the stories they leave behind, are these gravestones, these epitaphs that are around us. And much as the snake sheds his skin here, we too shall shed our skin. And whatever your belief is, we leave this earth and we leave our dead skin behind. And what we leave behind matters. So work hard every day to leave those lessons for others behind, because that is going to be your legacy. Teach your children well. Teach them about the history. Teach them about the people that are here before us and the struggles that they face, because those struggles will be ours. The earth, the seasons, they will go on as they always have. Don't let people fool you into a false sense of security that things are going to change or that life will be different. Because in the end, our children will have to find a place, a final resting place for us. And much as you see around us here in this cemetery, out on the Texas Black Earth farmland south of San Marcos, this is where a generation from the late 1800s up to the early 1920s rests. All but forgotten, except for a sign along the road that catches in a few people that are adventurous to say, let's go see what's at the Tuttle Cemetery on a hot Texas afternoon. I'm Rob Roark, We the People. Thanks for joining some of my quirky little adventures. I hope that you find some value in these things that I see out here. And I hope that you will get out and work to preserve some of these things and to learn some of the lessons that these gravestones and that those who came before us can teach us. Rest in peace, San Buena. Died in 1913.